beautiful. The Queen has looked incredible every day, and you know, we will in a minute get a sight of her outfit, always a great highlight of the day. But you know, I think people have to remember, you know, people here today, that 11 monarchs have done this procession. It's 300 years old. There is so much history in all of this pomp and pageantry. So as much as people are here for the racing, they are here for this moment. I'm sure many people in the crowd today will put a bet on what the Queen is wearing. And Mark, as ever,
here we go. So
is going to tell us
that Her Majesty the Queen today is wearing an Angela Kelly creation. So it's a dress and jacket from Angela Kelly, a hairdresser. It's made from silk, shades of green and ivory. Here we go. It went down well, that beautiful outfit. It was, interestingly enough, last worn at the Commonwealth Heads of Government meeting in April 2018. We've also got a hat that's been made by Angela Kelly in a printed simone with matching green featherage. So yeah, some beautiful pieces there. Very nice indeed.
Talk us through who's in that first carriage with Her Majesty.
Well, the Queen is joined by her son, the Duke of York, who's been a regular fixture in that lead carriage. The carriages come in order of hierarchy, which is why you will always see the Queen ride first. Now, usually she is accompanied by the Duke of Edinburgh, but as we know, he's now officially retired from public life.
Katie, she's looking at the ground
She's
here.
looking at the ground, she's checking that everything's alright, making sure her door isn't open, which it's not. She's in there safe and secure.
Chris Stickles has done the most amazing job. She will have been thrilled with the way the ground has been this week. Good, quick, racing ground, no excuses for any horses this week. Chris has done a brilliant job.
People do say that if you listen carefully, you can sense how the going will be from the sound of the carriage as it goes up the course. They do choose a different route every day. Maybe she was leaning out just to hear exactly what it was going to be like.
She might well have been Charlotte, and the person that she's speaking to at the moment is John Warren, who's also in that carriage. Now, he is her bloodstock advisor and her racing advisor, so, you know, what he doesn't know about horses and racing, frankly, isn't worth knowing. But the Queen is so knowledgeable, so she really will be taking a huge interest in everything today. The grass, the horses, the wind, you know, she really is incredibly knowledgeable. And they are also joined in that carriage by Lord Valentine Cecil, who is the son of the Marquis of Salisbury, very close family friend of the Queen. So, yeah, I'm sure there's lots of talk of racing, what's on the agenda this week. And she will be turning to John Warren today, but she turns to him many other days in the year for advice on all things equestrian.
And many of you recognise his face. He tips his hand there, John Warren, with a smile from when Estimate won that Gold Cup. The joy on his face, and in particular Her Majesty that day, one of the great moments in not just Royal Ascot history, but racing history. And big smiles and waves to the crowd, which is great to see.
Well, she hasn't had a winner this week, but do you know what? She hasn't let her smile drop. She still looks very, very happy, very enthusiastic, and looking forward to another day of racing.
4 carriages. Let's have a look at the second one, Katie.
Right, well, the second carriage, as it processes down the straight mile, is a fabulous sight. That when you just pause and look, it is wonderful, isn't it? Right, in this carriage we have Ian Balding and the Lady Emma Balding, who I'm sure many people recognise. And Ed, I know that they are close friends of yours. Of course, Ian Balding is a former racehorse trainer for the Queen. I think he's also trained horses for Alex Ferguson, but as I say, you know them very well yourself.
Yes, Ian, a legendary trainer, father to Claire,
of course,
represented Royal Ascot so brilliantly for so many years, and also Andrew, who's carried on training at Kingsclear, one of the most famous yards in the country. But these Baldings, Ian on the left there, Emma on the right in the sunglasses, have been in the procession before actually. I think it was about 10 years ago. And he trained for the Queen for 35 years. It's a family steeped in racing. Emma as well, her father, Captain Peter Hastings Bass, also trained for the Queen. Her brother William, likewise. And Emma herself runs Kingsclear Stud, breeding horses like Side Glance and Elm Park, who were top horses. Ian actually trained Magna Carta to win the Queen's Vase, the staying race for the Queen from earlier in the week, once upon a time. Best known for training Mill Reed, one of the great horses in famous colours which they now use for the Kingsclear Stud. And Andrew's got a chance later today with Count Octave, who I think will run very well indeed. And Claire actually presented a trophy yesterday.
Well, they're actually joined by Mr. and Mrs. Richard Halley, and sometimes because we're given the male surnames, the married surnames, I didn't actually realise that is Samantha Cohen who's in that carriage, and she is one of the Queen's most trusted advisors, and she's been sent over to Kensington Palace for a bit of a hiatus to help look after the new Duchess of Sussex. So you'll have seen her out on engagements with the Queen and the Duchess of Sussex recently.
Third carriage, is really dominated by racing personnel, two of the great trainers, Flat and Jumps.
That's right. That's, William Haggis and his wife Maureen, and another William, or better known as Willie Mullins, and his wife Jackie. And again, I know that these are good friends of yours, so I'm going to let you take over at this stage.
Well, I certainly know them. And William Haggis is good a trainer, shrewd a trainer as there is in Newmarket. He's on the left there with his back to us. And his wife Maureen, daughter of the great Lester Piggott, so another family steeped in racing. And Willie's just an absolute legend. The man who's had a winner at Royal Ascot already this week. And like Jesse Harrington yesterday, I've often described Jesse as the queen of Cheltenham. He's been the king of Cheltenham in recent years. She was ruling here yesterday in the big race. And he's got a big chance later on with Thomas Hobson, having already won the Stayers race earlier in the week. And Jackie is great fun, his wife, who must have a lot of fun on the eve of Cheltenham. They enjoy themselves as well as winning the big races.
Well, there is a big element of fun to Royal Ascot. Of course, it's very serious, but a lot of fun as well. It's a real mixture of emotions.
This is Carriage 4, Katie.
This is Carriage 4, and we have the Lady Oaksey riding in this carriage alongside Lieutenant Colonel Sir Andrew Ford, who is in charge of the Lord Chamberlain's office. He's the comptroller over at Buckingham Palace, and his wife, Lady Ford. So really falls to Lieutenant Colonel Sir Andrew Ford to organise everything when it comes to state visits, investitures, garden parties. Of course, we've seen a few of those. And you will also see Major Nana Tumazi Ankara, who is one of the Queen's equerries. He is the first black officer to have commissioned into the household cavalry. He is a major there. He's 39 years old. And a very, very trusted, relatively new member of the Queen's staff. So that is carriage number 4.
Lady Oaksey, I hope she doesn't mind. In that lovely colour that we can see there with her back to us. I hope she doesn't mind if I call her Chicky. That's the name she's known as. And you see her at racecourses all around the country. In the winter, in the coldest conditions, you'll see her from Wincanton up and down the land, selling Christmas cards to raise money for the Injured Jockeys Fund, because her late husband, Lord Oaksey, is just one of the great racing personalities ever. One of the most popular men you could ever wish to meet. He was a legend in front of the camera as a jockey, just one of the great characters. And he helped fund the Injured Jockeys Fund. And he was a superstar, and she is likewise hugely, hugely popular. And great to see her in one of the carriages today. And lots of colour again, left, right and centre, Charlie.
It is, isn't it? It's beautiful. And yet again today we've got a beautiful sunny day, and so many people turn out. You know, further back in this procession, we know there are members of the local community that turn out, school children turn out, people come and have picnics as well, not just people here at the racecourse, all anxious to catch that first glimpse of the Queen as she comes down. And you can see there just the crowds all leaning forward, wanting to see her. And interesting her choice of outfit, Mark, isn't it? Because often she goes for sort of, you know, block colours. She'll wear one colour on her coat, won't she? Today she's gone for patterns.
We usually see that pastel tones as well, I would say at least twice during Royal Ascot week. So we've gone for this, you know, kind of paler coloured green here with the ivory tones as well. But I do think it's really interesting that we've not seen her wear that before at the Commonwealth Heads of Government meeting just in April there. It's I think we're seeing this an awful lot more from the royal family.
Recycling those favourite
It
outfits.
shows a bit of thriftiness.
It's great.
You know, we know the Queen takes great pride in her outfits, and I think no one will mind seeing her stepping out in this. But I also know that the Queen uses fashion as a way of sending out a message, and I wonder, Mark, if she's doing this deliberately, because we were discussing yesterday about the importance of the Commonwealth here at this Royal Ascot. The Commonwealth Cup was run yesterday. There is a beautiful Commonwealth exhibition of all things fashion, so if you haven't seen that while you're here, do go and see that because it's beautiful. But the Commonwealth, very important.
It's time, for the final time this week, for the National Anthem. racecourse as they now turn left through the famous walk where the winners will go later this afternoon. A spectacular card, every race live with us on ITV through the day, and Her Majesty the Queen will love today because the Diamond Jubilee at 4:20 this afternoon still sparkles as the jewel in the crown of the final day, and she'll love the fact it's a global occasion. A race with countries represented, which is what the race is designed to do. Will it be staying in this country, or could it be America, Australia lifting one of our biggest prizes? We shall see later on. I hope you can stay with us for that through the afternoon as those carriages go under that tunnel. With some of the horses, one of her horses yesterday didn't like going out onto the racecourse, was a bit reluctant.
Had a bit of a slip, didn't he? I didn't realise, in fact, that the Queen chooses the name of every one of these horses, which is, again, just
Doesn't surprise
an
me.
indication of how much she loves these horses. In fact, she still rides. Our Queen turned 92 in April. Some wonderful birthday celebrations for her, of course, trooping the colour. But at 92, she's still riding her beloved fell pony, Emma. I just think it's remarkable.
She still stimulates this sport. She's brilliant at it.
Well, she's genuinely passionate about it. She loves it. It is why she is here every day of the meet. That is Royal Ascot tradition, 300 years old, and she's continuing that tradition.
She's had 23 winners in total at the Royal meeting over the years. She first attended at age 19 in 1945. Dartmouth the last in 2016, the Hardwick, the latest Hardwick run this afternoon. She's got about 12 horses in training. There's 3 and 4-year-olds plus a few 2-year-olds as well. The enthusiasm remains enormous as they come under that tunnel. For the first time in a second, Charlotte, this huge crowd will get their first glimpse of Her Majesty the Queen and the carriages out the chair.
And there it goes, the crowds cheering as they do every day when they catch the glimpse of the Queen as she makes it through here. And she's so pleased to see everybody, always a smile on her face. For lovers of facts, I can tell you that she got her first horse for her 4th birthday. It was a Shetland pony called Peggy. It was a gift from her father, King George VI, and ever since then she has loved all things horse.
Who's winning the battle of the stats this week?
I know, yeah,
And
it's a
Ollie's
tough one,
stats in the
isn't it?
afternoon as
I'm
well.
going to go with Sean.
I'm going to stick with Ollie.
Okay,
Well, I'm just going to say we've got 4 carriages here, but as modes of transport go, there are 400 helicopters, there are 1,000 limousines that have descended here this week. Only 1 scooter, though, so far.
This is true.
I'm going with Charlotte. The 3 miles of bunting that over the Queen Anne's enclosure just been
Sorry, Ollie.
exceeded. Look at that, young and old. Lots of young here today. Memories that they will treasure forever.
Of course, many people capturing it on their smartphones, their camera phones, all out for Her Majesty the Queen, who I never see her look happier than when she is at Royal Ascot, particularly when the sun is shining, which it is today.
But one thing that was lovely yesterday, Her Majesty the Queen had a runner in the second race. I don't think she fancied going upstairs, so she ducked into the weighing room area, which is behind us here, and turned a left-hand corner and went into the owners and trainers room, which is set aside for the winning owners and trainers generally. But she's an owner, so she was every right to go in there. And you can imagine the staff in there.
I could
serving
well
cups
imagine.
of tea and water when Her Majesty the Queen walked in. Not quite what they were expecting.
Not at all.
What a thrill. It's just in that glass building there, you can see, just on the right. It's just in there on the left, where generally the winners go through, the connections go and have a glass of champagne. I just dropped in there, happened to find myself in there after racing yesterday with Jeff Smith, who won the last race, and David Ellsworth, and they were on great form, as you can imagine, but wonderful that Her Majesty went in there after the first race yesterday.
Just say what a beautiful print that is on Her Majesty's outfit today. It's almost a geometric bubble print. It's quite fabulous. And it's stunning, stunning colour. It was wonderful to see it so close up just there.
So what happens next is Her Majesty will depart from the carriage and be greeted by Johnny Weatherby again, the chairman of Weatherby's, also Her Majesty's representative at Ascot, and he will introduce her to the reception line. And there's going to be a nice touch after that, which I'll tell you about in a moment, as the clerk of the scales who's retiring is going to get a special reception after years doing that job. There's Johnny. And she'll meet the trustees once again. There's John Warren in the background there.
Very important man.
Absolutely. That's Sir Francis Brooke, I've been telling you about this week and the work he does for charity. Harry Morley, the newest of the trustees. Then also in the line today, you've got David Jones, the chair of the Stewards Committee. Ian McGregor, who's the chief financial officer. He'll be a happy man this week with the crowds up. And also Jonathan Parker. Now, he's the director of food and beverage here at Ascot. He must be a busy man when you think of all the different options you have at this racecourse. They pride themselves on having something for everybody. At the high end, you've got Raymond Blanc, Bill Howard, and other chefs as well. New restaurants opening all the time. And there's also are going to be a special moment as Charles Stebbing, who's been the clerk of the scales for decades, I hope he doesn't mind me saying that, but he is retiring. And so he will be part of the reception line today, which is a lovely touch. A hugely popular man in the weighing room. I sort of courted opinion through the morning about Charles Stebbing. He was described by most of jockeys on our team as well as firm but fair.
That's a good description.
Charles, you will be missed.
But the Queen every day, Ed, hasn't she? Taken such an interest in this lineup. She's always got something to say.
I wonder what Charles is saying. Because he'll know all about what he does with the jockeys weighing in and out and decisions to be made. And he's done a wonderful job over the years.
And it's interesting, isn't it? Even in the warmer weather, she always takes her time here. She's always happy to stand and chat and just to make the most of it, knowing that everyone here, the crowds around here, are also so pleased to be able to see her so close up.
Absolutely.
There's that print, you can see it there.
It really is very, very beautiful. Quite a modern take on that print there as well. Also, she has her Lorna bag as well.
Never without it.
Never without the Lorna bag. Apparently, there's many to choose from there, but they're all made with a slightly longer strap for ease of shaking hands. It's one of the, it's as far as it's like a steadfast sartorial kind of signature, really now of her. That and her favourite Anello and David shirts. As soon as you see that, it's almost like a comfort blanket for us all, really, isn't it? You know exactly who we're looking at.
She also uses it to send some very discreet signals to her ladies in waiting. So if she was to put that bag on the floor right now, which I know she won't,
No.
it's a signal to please get me out of here quickly.
Is that right?
Absolutely.
I wonder why that happened with Ollie Bell last year. Love looking at the horses. That's Johnny Weatherby on the right there, who's so involved with the racecourse, with the trustees, the meetings after racing, the meetings first thing in the morning, the planning that goes into this is absolutely meticulous. Team, it's done. The final round position.
Oh, what a finale.
Katie, thank you for your company through the week. I hope
Thank
you've
you for
enjoyed
having
it.
me. I've had a wonderful time. It's been a delight to join you all. Thank you.
And thank you to the team here who now go out and do some work.
We shall.
He's back on the champagne. There's the 120 metre wire cam I've been telling you about. Actually, the wire cam on the other side on the straight is 300 metres long. We brought it to Ascot last year, and it's gone down very well indeed. That was the final Royal Procession of the week.
Thank you for watching this video. If you have enjoyed it, then please give it a big old thumbs up. Don't forget to hit that notification bell so that you know whenever I upload a new video. So from me in Shropshire, goodbye.